Welcome to an all new horror show entertainment interview. Today I am interviewing a local store owner, Patty. She owns Annie's Bookshop here in Worcester. I will leave a link to the Facebook fan page in the description below and some other information like the website. And let's start by asking some questions. Welcome, Patty, to the horror show entertainment interview.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And first off, before you ask any questions, tell us a little bit about your store.
Our bookstore is a combination of new and used books. Our personal specialties are science fiction, mystery, horror, and suspense, but we have books for every taste, every genre. We do a mix of new books and used books. We do a lot of special orders. We try to be a community center for the city of Worcester. And we host a lot of events, a lot of book signings. We've had, particularly for the horror genre, we have helped launch a lot of careers of people who are future, and present Bram Stoker Award winners, and it's just been great.
When did you decide to open up a bookstore?
I've actually worked in bookstores since 1987.
Wow.
This particular bookstore I took over from a previous owner, so I've owned Annie's Bookstop of Worcester since 2010. But I started out in the Walden Books chain back in the 80s and pretty much have been learning the trade since. So once this opportunity became available, it was wonderful. Worcester needs a bookstore.
Oh,
I've always been a reader. I've always, loved books and like putting books in people's hands.
How long have you been reading books yourself?
I think that I actually started reading. The first book I can remember reading all by myself, I think I must have been 4. And it was a book called One Kitten Is Not Too Many. I still have that. And the first book I bought for myself in 4th grade with my own money was The Phantom Tollbooth. So I am a lifelong reader.
Nice. What's your favorite genre of book and why?
I tend to like hard science fiction because I like science. At one point I, considered a career in astronomy, but the math kind of did me in. It was just a little too hard for that. I will read some fantasy. I do like horror very much, mostly because I like how it brings out people's characters when they're up against situations that they would not be expected to cope with in the real world.
Yeah, you kind of have to rise up to the occasion.
Rise up to the occasion. It brings out both the best and the worst in people, and how an author handles their characters always interests me.
Do you have a count for how many books you've read?
No. I can tell you there's 16,000 books in this, in this store. I would say I read maybe half of them, so maybe somewhere around 10,000 books. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I also tend to do a lot of rereading, however.
Yeah.
The books that come home with me, as opposed to the books that are here in the store, the only books that come home with me are things that are going to be read more than once.
Yeah, I've probably read about 100 books. So I kind of started later in my life.
Exactly.
What do you like most about reading books?
It takes me away from the day-to-day things. It lets me look into somebody else's mind, go to another world. It's just, it's good escape.
Do you think word of mouth has helped your bookstore?
Yes, it has. I'm making a happy customer, they'll tell other customers, and if there are people who, have been unhappy, we try to make that better.
Do you think paperbacks and hardcovers are becoming less sought after to make way for digital reading or Kindle?
It may have been that way a few years ago. I've seen a swing back to the physical book again in the last, I would say, 3 years, because the digital book market is not discounting books as heavily as they used to. Many of our used books range from $1.29 to maybe $4.99, whereas the price of a new book nowadays, a paperback book, is $8.99.
Yeah.
A hardcover book is anywhere from $28 to $35. They're not that different on the digital platform as far as pricing goes. Amazon and its like have gotten very greedy. So the place here where we all get books from the same place, we all go to the same publishers, the same wholesalers. I can discount things. I do not need to make a killing just to profit.
Right.
So at least here, I am seeing a lot of the physical book coming back in. The other part of that equation is that just in the last year, 2 other stores have opened up in Worcester. Other stores have opened up around the country, not just Annie's.
Mm-hmm.
People are taking the chance again on physical books.
Yep.
It's a growing industry.
I think people's problem at first was the room that it took up, but now people are realizing it's worth it.
It's worth it, but I think digital and physical books can exist side by side. I like to have some things loaded on an e-reader if I'm going to travel, per se, so I do not have to carry a backpack full of books through, Union Station down to New York City if I'm going to a trade show.
Yeah.
Whereas at home, when I'm unwinding at the end of the day, I want a book.
Yeah. It's kind of like that with vinyls they came back to.
Exactly.
Which do you prefer, paperbacks or hardcovers?
I don't understand the question.
Or like, which do you prefer to read in your hand, like a paperback or a hardcover? Like the one that feels the best.
Depends. It actually depends where I'm reading.
Yeah, that's
That's what I'm saying. If I'm reading on the go, for something like that,
Mm-hmm.
if it's, I'm waiting in line at the RMV, I want a paperback. Whereas at home, as I said, just the weight of a book, I'll read hardcovers at home.
Yeah. I just thought of one last question that's kind of a funny one.
Sure.
Can you read in the car? Will someone, like if you're a passenger in a car?
Yes, because actually I'm a non-driver, so I always do that, and I have no problem reading in the
Yeah,
car.
me too, and everyone's like, how do you do that? It's like, I don't know, I just can.
Some people actually, it's the same difference if people get seasick or not,
Yep.
or if they get vertigo on heights. It's just part of how they do, but car rides, not a problem.
Yeah, same. All right, I
All
think
right.
that's about all the questions I have.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for letting me shoot the video, and so I'll just do the outro. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to check out Annie's bookshop or bookshop.
Annie's Bookstop of Worcester.
All right, and I'll put the Facebook fan page and the website in the description below, as well as my Twitter and Facebook fan page in the description below, and to leave comments and subscribe.